Merry Christmas! And happy whatever you celebrate. I hope it is an amazing one. I am probably face first in mashed potatoes and ham and turkey and presents and all the things. So, Merry Christmas if you're celebrating today. And if you're watching this after Christmas, Merry whatever day it is. Something that happens a lot is Christmas and the holidays, the month of December, really makes people think about their goals for the next year. And it should, because it's the end of the year and we're gearing up to go into 2018, and we know we have goals that we want to hit and that we want to set to hit. So today I want to talk to you about some different ways and different systems you can use to set goals for your life, your business, your YouTube channel, whatever. Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, you're really missing out because I'm awesome and the channel is awesome and the community is awesome. So hit subscribe and be part of the awesomeness. Now, goal setting is one of those like fluffy words that people just throw around, and everybody has a different method for goal setting and a different way they want to sell you on and all of this stuff. And that's not what I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about is the different ways you can set your goals and actually physically write them down so you can see if you're hitting them or not, and how to adjust if you aren't hitting them or if you hit them and you want to set another goal. I'm going to start with number one being the way that I set goals and the way that I keep up with goals and track goals for myself and my business, which is, you guessed it, Trello. I guarantee at some point y'all are going to be like, stop talking about Trello. It is enough. It's annoying. But I love Trello for goal setting. So what I do, and this is not a new method, I've seen tons and tons and tons of people talk about this in kind of a similar way. But what I do is I create a master goal board. And that master goal board encompasses the entire year. So when I'm wanting to sit down and think about my goals, for instance, I'm doing that at the time I'm recording this because we are going to publish a podcast episode on the All Up in Your Lady Business podcast about our goals for the next year. So I really needed to sit down and think through what my goals actually were. So when you're ready to do that, you open up a Trello board, you create a new Trello board, and you enable the calendar power up. With this, then now you can see all of your Trello stuff in a calendar view, and I will just go through and write down goals. So if it's a goal that I want to hit by a certain date, I'll write those down on the calendar view and just kind of go from there. If it's just an arbitrary goal that, you know, by the end of the year I want to do this, or that sometime this year I want to have this happen, like for instance, I'm writing a book and sometime this year I'd like to actually finish it. So if it's just an arbitrary goal that doesn't have a date assigned, put it in a separate list. Do whatever works for you, but create one master board that can house all of your goals. Now, what you can also do here is you can go through your goals and think about how you can achieve them. So, okay, if a goal of writing a book is on my goal list for this year, how am I going to go about achieving that? Do I need a separate Trello board for that? Do I need to assign dates to things? Do I need to say, you know, by March 15th, I need to have this part done, and by April 12th, I need to have that done? What do I need to do to actually accomplish those goals? So if you're striving for a certain income goal by the end of the year, or a certain status goal, so many subscribers on YouTube, or so many people in a membership site, or so many clients a month, those are more arbitrary and they're not really date specific. So you might just create them in a list, you know, separate from the calendar, and think through how you're going to actually accomplish them. Then you can break each one out into its own board if you want to. Like I say, my book board might be its own board because I need to focus in on that specific goal. So use Trello to map out your goals. It is a really fun way to do it, and it's really movable and customizable too. So you don't have to like erase things or mark things out. like you would on paper. Now, speaking of paper, you can totally use a paper calendar to accomplish the same thing you would on Trello. So, totally up to you. Now, the second way that you can really focus in on setting goals in the new year is to create a vision board, whether that's digital and it's on a system like Pinterest, or whether you create it on a cork board or a grease board or a chalkboard or whatever and put it up on your wall. You can clip out things from magazines, you can pin things on Pinterest, but create a vision board that encompasses your goals. So if one of your goals is to buy a new car or buy a new house or have enough money to go to Hawaii or to hit so many subscribers on YouTube or whatever, find a graphic or an image that encompasses that goal and pin it on Pinterest or print it out and cut it up and put it on a vision board and look at it all the time and make it pretty. Now, something that I don't do it every year, but I have done it in the past, is I will create a screensaver on the background of my computer, so like my desktop screen, and it will have pictures in a vision board like style image to remind me every time I turn on my computer, oh yeah, that's a goal this year. I need to buy a new car or, whatever. So creating a visual representation of your goals is a great way to make them come to life, because getting into woo-woo stuff, which I'm not a big fan of, but when you see things and it's like a goal, you subconsciously work towards it because you don't want to let yourself down, and it's there and you see it every day. So always a good idea. Now, the third way that you can set goals and track goals and keep up with goals is something like a goal planning workbook or goal planning sheets or something like that. The most popular is a system developed by Laura Casey called Power Sheets. And this is 2017's that I never used because I'm just, as much as I want to be a paper girl, I just have to have things digital now in my life. So, but they're gorgeous. And they're a really good way for you to go through and say, okay, in August, what are my goals? In July, what are my goals? In December, what are my goals? And you can write out the steps it's going to take to get you to those goals, and you can take inventory every single month with, are you there yet? Have you done this? Etc., etc. So they're gorgeous and they're beautiful, and I'll make sure to link them below. But you really need to do what works for you. That's my biggest message today, is when you're wanting to set goals, do what works for you. I love paper products. Like, this is so pretty, and I love the quality, and I love how like the tabs are set out, and I love the design and all of it, but I know that I have to have things in a digital format because I won't do them otherwise. So, and you may be totally the opposite from me. You may love Asana more than you love Trello. You may love having a really big desk calendar. You may love putting sticky notes on a window. But whatever works for you, do it. And that way, when you set your goals, you know where to go back and find them. And that'll help you hit them, because you're going back and looking at them and evaluating what you can do to actually hit that goal. Merry Christmas again. Make sure you hit subscribe and hit the little bell, because it's Christmas and bells and Christmas go together. So hit the little bell and hit me up in the comments below. I want to know your goals for 2018. My goals will actually be published on the podcast, so I will link that below. Let's make it happen. Let's make 2018 the year we kick butt.